Hi everyone, Tom Guile with the Guile Group. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, bringing you the latest real estate and economic information for the Portland metro area. Last week's big story was the beginning of the reopening of the state of Oregon. 30 of 35 counties began the reopening process. So that is all counties with the exception of the 3 counties in the Portland metro area, which are Washington, Multnomah, and Clackamas, as well as 2 counties a little bit further south, Polk and Marion County. We expect to see continued uptick in real estate activity as the areas begin to reopen. So let's take a quick look now on what the experts are saying. Here's a quote from Lawrence Yu, chief economist of NAR, which is National Association of Realtors. He's saying that after a pause associated with the pandemic, sellers will be putting their homes on the market, and there's plenty of buying interest due to the low interest rates. And this is definitely what we're seeing here in the Portland metro area. Another quote from the National Association of Realtors is that more than 3 in 4 sellers plan to put their home on the market once the conditions and reopening begin. Changing gears, and other news around the Portland metro area in Oregon, the Regional Multiple Listing Service put out April's numbers last week. While we've been watching these numbers weekly, so there's really no big surprises here, it's good to take a look at them for perspective so we can compare them to years past and see also where we're headed. So taking a look at the April stats, new listings were 2,847. That was down 32% from last year. Pending sales were down 34%. Closed sales were down 16.4%. And the average home price is up 5.6% at $477,400. Again, like I said, many of these numbers are not a surprise, and we're starting to see an uptick in activity, especially in the leading indicators of new listing and pending sales as we got towards the end of April. Taking a look at the year-to-date performance, it paints a little bit different picture here. Pending sales were down 7.1%, new listings down 10.8%, closed sales are actually up 0.6%, and the average sales price is up 4.6%. So when we take a look at 2020 as a whole, the numbers are still pretty strong. Different areas in the metro area are impacted differently based on the current economic conditions, and a lot of it has to do with the mix of homes that are selling in those areas. So the top line takes a look at leading indicators for the Portland metro area. Pending sales down 34%, new listings down 32%. Taking a look at areas like Beaverton and Tigard, they actually perform better than the metro area as a whole. Wilsonville is about on average of what the metro area performed. And taking a look at Lake Oswego and West Lynn, their numbers are performing lower than the Portland metro area, and that really has to do with the mix of properties there. So what we're seeing is the higher end properties are taking a little bit harder hit in this slowdown than more of the family type properties that we're seeing in Beaverton and Tigard. So we'll switch gears here. Let's take a look at our leading indicators, where we're at for last week. New listings, we had 611. We're up 7.8% from the week prior. So we're continuing to see more listing activity as we go through time here. Pending sales actually were down a little bit, but we'll take a look at a graph here a little bit. They popped down 6.5%, but when we look at the graph, it's kind of interesting because it took the same downturn last year at this time. So I'm not quite sure what's causing that little dip in pending sales, but we'll take a look at it. Lockbox opens continue to climb. They're up 3.6% over last week. So here are the graphs that we're talking about. First of all, just looking at listings and pending sales for last week. And the good news is we're starting to see a little bit of a gap where we're seeing more listings than pending sales. So that means we're going to be building a little bit of inventory. Taking a look at new listings last year over this year. Again, obviously we're lower than last year, but we definitely are seeing a nice steady climb in new listing activities over about the last 3 weeks. So that's great news. And pending sales, like I said, interesting enough, we took a dip this week, but we took a dip at the same exact time at about the same rate last year at this time. So not quite sure what that dip's about. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we post next week's numbers. So. And also housing prices, let's take a look at that. We continue to see steady prices here in the Portland metro area. The median home sales price was $450,900. And taking a look at this graph, you can see it's been pretty solid as we've gone through about the last 8-10 weeks. So again, you want more information, continue to follow us on social media. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We're posting there daily. We've got lots of information. We're keeping up with market information as well as other information such as community events and just what's going around here in the Portland metro area. So we're all working together here. We're supporting our friends and family during these unprecedented times. Any questions about the market or real estate in general, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.